We're rolling. This is it. This is episode 382 of No Laugh Track Podcast. I'm Justin Severson, the lucky guy who gets to host this each week here at Acme Comedy Company in Minneapolis. I'm looking around. The tables are still perfectly socially distanced for the capacity, which is at, I don't know, a quarter. Whatever it's supposed to be, that's what we have here at Acme. And I am here with my guest who I've never talked to before 5-10 minutes ago, Zach Martina.
Hi, Justin.
Hi.
How are you?
Why is it taking so long for you to be here on the stage with me? Defend yourself. What took so long?
Honestly, they've asked me quite a few times, and I always said no. I was like, I don't have time for this. I sleep at 1. I'm asleep at 1 p.m. Honestly, you guys you're talking about the social distance of the tables. Somehow they're spread out, and it's perfectly spread out, and yet I managed to run into 2. Last night. There are gaps all over the place, and I still managed to run into 2 tables.
Wait a minute. Did your hair fall in front of your eyes, or?
I can see through bangs. That's something I figured out how to do. That was just me. I don't know, man. Sobriety, I suppose.
Oh.
I hadn't got that first tequila soda in me yet, which really narrows the vision. I don't know. I can't answer the question.
Tequila vision.
Like why we haven't spoke yet. I can't answer the question. I don't have these answers, Justin.
Sure. Now, I know I've seen your name. You've performed here before this week.
Yeah. Last year I was here early in the week, and then
do you remember who ended that week? I'm always curious.
Joe List.
It was a Joe List week. Okay.
I left the day he came on the show with you.
He did? Yeah. Oh, okay.
I did Tuesday, Wednesday, and he did Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Right on. Was that the first time for you here at Acme, or was there anything before that?
Yeah, I'd come in and done the mic a couple times.
Oh, really?
Just passing through. Yeah.
Now explain. So, for people that don't know, you don't live here.
No, I'm from Ann Arbor, Michigan.
That's where you live now?
That's where I live.
Okay.
And love.
Live and love.
Yes.
And passing through would be like you were performing in like Wisconsin or something.
I think I was at,
or at like maybe Mankato or Bemidji or something. Like, hey, I'm gonna hit up the open mic on Monday.
Yeah. You try to figure out a reason to get up here when you can. I think I was at CCU on that Friday and Saturday.
Oh, okay.
I had just gotten off of a tour with Rory Scovel, and I met Bob, and he hooked me up at CCU, and then Sean Patton got me a spot on the mic, so I didn't have to wait for the drawing. So I just crashed a couple extra days and did the mic.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
I think that's how it happened.
Yeah. And now it's Tuesday. Were you here this week for it?
No. I flew in on Wednesday. I was thinking about driving in on Tuesday, but then flights are dirt cheap, and I was like, I'm just gonna fly. I would much rather fly for an hour and a half than drive 10 hours each way.
So I'm glad you brought that up because I am curious. I
thought you'd like that.
I haven't been on a plane in a long time. I have no plans to.
Yeah.
How was it for you? Any apprehension?
I mean, there were certainly nerves because I didn't know what to be expected.
Yeah.
But I mean, they had a lot of the gates shut down because they were trying to really practice social distancing, and they're not sitting any of the middle seats. So it's a very outside of having the mask on. Yeah. It's very, very comfortable flight.
I'm curious, when you take your mask on to have your snack, is that people are doing that? And then are they hassling anybody like, hey, let's get it back up?
I didn't hear anyone being hassled, but I was also very deep into Uncut Gems. So I was not paying attention to anything around me, except there was a baby sitting directly in front of me and just staring at me through the crack the entire time. And I wanted to tell the parents, put a mask on that thing because it's creeping me out right now.
Put it over its mouth or eyes.
Either or. I don't care.
You're watching Uncut Gems with the one of the co-stars of that movie is maybe the future owner of the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Kevin Garnett.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe he'll be better in a front office situation than he was in acting. He's not suited to be in front of a camera where he's got lines and whatnot.
I haven't seen it. Is he pretty?
It's fine.
How is he compared to? One of the worst performances I've ever seen in a movie that I really wanted to like was the Anakin Skywalker kid in the Star Wars prequel. He was one of the most stilted worst actors.
The little kid?
Not the little kid, the teenage kid, Hayden Christensen.
Oh yeah, people don't like him.
Oh.
He's got a real hateable face.
How does Garnett stack up to Hayden Christensen?
I mean, he's just got more charisma. He's more charming. You're kind of drawn to him because regardless of where you're from, even if he didn't play in your city, everybody loves Kevin Garnett.
That's
He's
true.
the man.
That's true. KG.
Yeah.
The kid.
So, Yeah, he was fine, but he wasn't a good actor.
Yeah.
It was, ugh.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Adam Sandler was great, though. He carried him.
I've heard.
Much like Kevin Garnett carried those Minnesota Timberwolves teams, those Boston Celtics teams. I think he played for Brooklyn briefly. Adam Sandler carried Kevin Garnett.
You know what? We're going to move on from Kevin Garnett, but I want to nitpick one thing.
No!
Yeah. Damn you. I want to nitpick one thing about him as someone born and raised in Minnesota. When he won the championship, NBA championship in Boston, he announced his love for Minnesota by calling it Mini. We don't call this place Mini. Minneapolis isn't Mini. Minnesota isn't Mini. KG should know better. We're not Mini. But we appreciate the sentiment. That's just my little nitpick.
I mean, yeah, I would take umbrage with that as well. I don't know if I used umbrage right, but I've heard it in the past, and I'm using the context clues that I've used. But I would not be thrilled about that either. Especially a guy who wants to buy the team. That's what. What if that's what prevents him from getting the ownership stake? You know, Kevin, this all looks really good. The numbers are there. Obviously, you have a passion for the game and knowledge for the game. Ooh, there's this soundbite where you called us Mini. You can't have any of this team.
Two rules are going to be written into this contract. You can't move the team out of Minnesota or change the name on the jerseys to Mini.
Yeah, he wants to alter it. Like Detroit has Motor City on it. He just wants a black and pink jersey that says Mini on it. It's black and pink polka dotted.
Yes. How? So I watched the show here last night. You're doing the Wednesday through Saturday here, and I watched the show last night via Zoom, as I've been doing, and I enjoy that. That went well, except for the as I showed you before we started recording. My 10-month-old daughter had a
the joys of parenthood.
She just started making a lot of noise while I was trying to concentrate watching the comedy. But besides that, and she quieted down, and I got to enjoy it. But
I want to talk about that because I want to hear what you thought of the show, but I am looking at this mic cover right now. And it is just a nipple staring me in the face. It is just a breast with a nipple.
Has it been a while?
Me in the face.
How long's it been?
No, it hasn't been that long. I mean, I guess I'm a boob man. I don't know. But it's right in the middle, and it looks like it's cold. It's just a full-on boob looking at me.
You weren't like...
And it's not the first time I've talked into breasts before. I want to make that crystal clear.
You know what? Actually, it's weird. I was looking at that one before we started, and it did not show that. So you did something to it.
You think I've turned the mic on?
Just saying. I think you turned the mic on and then turned it on, is what I'm saying.
That's right. I'll do my best. I mean, we are in a pandemic. I'll do my best to keep the tongue off the nipple. Is this a family show?
You can say whatever you would like.
All right. Well, I just talked about. We're not going to edit that nipple part out because I think that's the soundbite right there.
I mean, are we going to start editing now? That would be weird. We've done 382 of these.
382 episodes. Zach Martina talking about licking a nipple is when we draw the line.
Let's just shut her down. I mean, I don't think there's ever been a chance. People aren't paying attention enough for us to get canceled, but you may have just done it.
I'll take it, and I'll finally have a credit.
Fucking put us on the map, damn it.
He is responsible for getting No Laughing Matter canceled.
That's right.
It's Zach Martina.
How did you think the show went last night? You were first on stage in months,
first
correct?
Time on stage in a comedy setting. I did I was told it was like a senior party. I did that a couple weeks ago. Turns out it was just their version of the prom, and it was very uncomfortable.
Senior, you mean senior citizen?
No, senior of high school. These kids, they still wanted to throw a prom for them. I went up after a 50-year-old man and a 45-year-old man, and I mean, they were doing what a lot of comics do, talking about their dick. And I got up, and it was just so uncomfortable because these are friggin' kids.
Yeah.
And I said, can we just all acknowledge how awkward this is? A 45-year-old man and a 50-year-old man just told you about their dicks. Luckily, you're 18, because if this had happened 16 years ago, it would have been a friggin' crime.
Yeah.
They would have been carted out of here in the paddy wagon.
Yeah.
So that was uncomfortable. And I just had to basically scream at them and tell them, life is not what you make it. It's going to happen one way or the other. It's all lost cause.
So it
was a real message of hope.
Wait, you weren't hired to do comedy? You were doing the commencement speech?
Yeah. I mean, I would love to go back and talk to those kids again and just be like, hey, here's some things that I forgot. And then before that, I did a drive-in theater.
Oh, how did that go?
Honestly,
let me ask you another way. Was there Was there feedback from the crowd?
Well,
like,
they
did
all
you hear
sat
them
out like it was
laughing,
a
or?
tailgate. So like they had their chairs set up outside their tailgates and everything. And if they liked it, they would like honk their horn or flash their brights. The people that were outside were laughing, but it was this wide open space, so you couldn't really hear anything. There was no way of catching a wave of energy.
Yeah.
All I did was it was a big field, and there were like a nice neighborhood surrounding it, so the acoustics were well. I'm naturally loud, and I'm amplified by the microphone.
Yeah.
I was just trying to upset the neighborhood. I was just saying things that they're like, I hate when they do these comedy shows.
Yeah.
So last night, doing like getting back into my act, I couldn't remember any of my jokes before I came in, and I had to like study, which I'm a college dropout. I don't study, but here we go for work, and it was so great to be just in front of. I think there were, I don't know, 11 to 15 people, you know, in the crowd watching it, and you could tell that they were just so excited to be out of the house and in some form of live entertainment, and the energy was great, and it was so cool to try to like figure out the timing again, and just be validated. Like, my thoughts are brilliant. You should be laughing at these things, and finally I'm back. It was great, and I'm super excited for the rest of the weekend, because with each show, I imagine more and more rust will kick off, and hopefully I'm humming.
Absolutely.
By Saturday Late Show.
Yeah, absolutely. I enjoyed it. The comedy or the contest is going on right now. Did you ever do anything like that?
Yeah.
Early in your career?
Yeah. Took a lot of seconds and thirds. Never won. Ever.
How were those run?
They were audience vote. Some of them were judge vote. And I came up in a class in Michigan where there are some just really terrific comics. The guys that I came up with were great and beat me, and have gone on to get their Conan credits and their Comedy Central credits. And as I said, my credit hopefully will be getting this canceled. So I am a second or third place type of comic, but they were fun. I did them, and then one year I had done the road for the first time most of the year, and I just stopped doing them because I told myself it wouldn't be fair, but I just don't think I could handle another defeat.
Yeah, it is. It's tough to get comfortable with rejection. You'd think like where I grew up in St. Paul, sports were always terrible. So you think I would have got used to it. I never knew a first place. I barely knew wins.
Yeah, I would say that too about Detroit, but then I remembered the Wings won all those cups. The Tigers, they were in the World Series a couple times. The Pistons had their wins. It's just the Lions. I'm a football guy, and they're just the worst.
How well are you getting to be known as the Matt Patricia guy?
In Michigan, pretty well.
Yeah.
Let's
talk about that.
People definitely come out to the shows, and they're like, "Oh man, I love those things. I love the way you razz him." But
Matt Patricia is the head coach, for people don't know, of the Detroit Lions. He's a bigger fella. He's
bigger than me. I want to make that clear.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's yes. Not even maybe a little.
Yeah. He's
there's no
bigger
doubt.
than me, and we both have a beard.
Yep. He's bearded. You have a beard.
And I have a knowledge of football, so I can talk a little bit about it. I mean,
he's known for having the pencil behind his ear.
That's my favorite thing that I've done in those is I bought a pencil costume and I painted my face silver, and I talk like I'm this old emphatic woman, just like, "Hey, listen, Maddie, here's what you got to do." And he's just crazy. There's one that I did too where
Wait, what does the pencil give him advice or what?
Yeah, the pencil's like, "Maddie, you're a sociopath. You got to stop preparing. Erase the mistakes." Like terrible puns and everything. It's my absolute favorite character.
Awesome.
I don't even have a name for it, but it's my the pencil's my favorite. And I did one where Matt Patricia goes insane, and I put on a Lions Mexican wrestler mask.
Oh, sure.
And I end up killing the pencil, and like I snap it, but I go back and forth. Oh, dude, those are a lot of fun. When it's just me as Matt Patricia, they're not as fun. But when I get to like the motivation to actually write and edit and I guess makeup, dude, so much, because it's dark and twisted. I showed my 7-year-old daughter it, and she goes, "Well, that's pretty dark."
Wow. To have a 7-year-old even know what that means. That's impressive.
We have some rules in our house where my kids know a lot more than most kids their age. We believe we tell them if they ask a question, like tell us, we allow them to swear in the house if they can define the word and give us 2 other ways of saying it. We just don't want them to sound stupid.
Yeah.
You know? So we were at dinner the other day, and my youngest goes, "I think I know what fuck means." So instantly, my wife and I put our forks down. We're like, "Well, we got to hear this." And
I'm ready.
I'm like, "What do you got?" And she goes, "It's when you have sex with someone, or you wish curses upon them." And I go, okay, and what are 2 other ways to say it? And she goes, to make love, or what did she say? She said, maybe she said, put curses upon them, because she said, wish bad luck on them. And then she said to put curses on them. And I go, okay, well, you can say fuck in the house all you want. That's fine.
What?
She knows exactly what she's talking about. If you say it right, I don't care.
Wow.
And they're very comfortable. They both have very dark senses of humor. They're very comfortable with death because my dad died when the youngest was like 3. So they were around the funeral. They were around like the planning of it and everything.
Wow.
And they understand life ends. So it's great that they've got just this understanding of dark humor.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Do they have cell phones yet?
They do, but they're not. It's just for Spotify. You know, they like to listen to Spotify. There's some pretty cool stuff on Google where they're both kind of into creative writing.
Yeah.
The one likes to do graphic novels more so than actual books, but they don't talk on the phone. I mean, since the quarantine happened, they've been doing Facebook Messenger with their friends, which is mainly their cousins, which is great.
Yeah.
But they're not big screen kids. We're not really big on the screen time. And if we do watch screen time, we're watching things that we want to watch. We just finished The Office for the second time.
And the girls like that.
And the girls love that. And any episode that has a wedding, their absolute favorite. Oddly enough, they like Phyllis's wedding the most. And then right now we're in the middle of Schitt's Creek.
Oh, my.
Yeah.
Wow.
People don't agree with our method of parenting.
Yeah, I mean, you're not the only person I know that's like that. I'm not. How about when something comes up I only watched the first season of Schitt's Creek, but I know that gets a little
that's sexual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when something comes up and there's a question, do they ask questions when they're watching these shows? Like, what is what's blah 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 mean?
I mean, I would never explain it the way I might explain it on stage, but we just go honestly and give them the details they need, and if they have further questions, we just ask them. We're really just trying, because I'm terrified they're not going to trust me. I watched True Detective Season 1, and one of the things that stuck with me so hard is when Woody Harrelson's daughter gets caught in the truck with those 2 dudes, and they're going at it, and he goes, the biggest thing I didn't pay was attention. And I was like, oh shit, I don't want my daughters to ever end up like that. So I just try to be straight with them and let them, hopefully they'll trust me down the line and know that I'm coming from a place of love.
Yeah.
But it's very fear-based. My parenting style is very fear-based for what's down the line.
I have 3 daughters, I was telling you beforehand, 14, 12, and almost 11 months.
Oh, man. You're 14. Mine are 9 and 7, and I'm real scared for that 12, 14. The 9-year-old's already pulling away and digging her room a lot. And it's
that's
terrifying.
That's a little early.
Yeah.
That's a little early.
Well, like I said, they have dark senses of humor. I don't know what she's doing up there.
Man, they're going to be moving out when they're 15.
Good. No. We'll give them a loft above the garage.
Oh, that would be kick-ass. I wish I could have had that. Are you kidding
Especially
me?
with these new Ring cameras and Nest cameras. I'll watch.
Right.
I'll find out. But you can have your freedom. That's fine.
Yeah. Oh, no. Lights are off. I'm watching.
Yeah.
I'm definitely watching. So it's interesting to me. One of the things you said on the stage last night is about how you had to come to Minnesota to do some comedy because in Michigan, are the stages open?
No, people are doing open mics at, obviously in their garages. There's a lot of house shows, but there's no comedy stages open at all. Like I said, I did that senior prom, which I think was a loophole. And then there's some outdoor shows going on, much like the drive-in, but nothing traditional.
Have the dispensaries stayed open?
Yeah.
They're essential.
Oh, man. There would have been
Look at the look on your face.
There would have been newsworthy riots had those shut down in Ann Arbor. They'd have been chill riots, but they would have been happening. Because we went recreational.
Yeah, no.
I still have my medical card. So medical card.
You from
Michigan.
Okay.
So I have my medical card in Michigan, but it is recreational. And having a medical card in Michigan right now is like a fast pass at Disney World. You just go right to the front of the line. You have access to strains that these rec users don't have access to.
Come on.
It's boss, man. I love it.
What? Mm-hmm. So the restriction. So so having a medical card before it was recreationally legal. How hard was that to get?
Not hard.
Do you mind saying your ailment?
Absolutely. I'll tell you. When I got my card 7 years prior, I had hurt my knee in a drunken wrestling match, and I went in complaining of pain. Then I wanted to get my medical card, and I said, everyone's like, well, just tell them you have pain somewhere. You just need to have a record of them. Like, I think 7 years ago, I went in, I got the medical records that said I went in complaining of pain, got an x-ray, and the diagnosis says patient came in complaining of pain. We took x-rays. We couldn't find anything wrong. It says that on the paper. I showed that to the medical doctor, and they're like, okay, approved. Literally, it says there was nothing wrong. And they're like, take it. That's fine. Go get some of that sweet orange kush.
That tells me that everyone there is smoking pot, including the person that okayed your...
Yeah.
Which, good for them. That's awesome.
And they all should smoke pot. Let's get on board with mushrooms too, huh? I'll get an ailment on that. I'll get some sort of psychological anxiety that needs to be cured on mushrooms. Mushrooms are the best. Love mushrooms.
What is it? So, as someone who's travels from there to here, where it's legal where you live, and then you have to come here, and it's no.
I do not have it with me this time.
Yeah,
I flew.
You flew, but normally you gotta,
But normally,
it just must be odd. Coming from the opposite.
It's not
direction of
even
that.
medical here.
No, sir. Well, very super restricted.
I mean,
super duper like.
My
wife has lupus and can't get it.
I don't understand how it's not medically legal. I don't understand why it's not recreationally legal everywhere. Just from the greed standpoint of American corporations, the amount of money that people make in tax dollars and regulating the whole thing, why would it not be legal? It doesn't make any sense to me. It's just the old guard not wanting to change their ways, which is very much how the state of the union right now. It's like, just change your fucking shit. Mm-hmm. It's time to evolve. Mm-hmm. The thumb's bending. We need to further evolve.
Yeah, I agree. I completely agree.
We need to grow out our fingertips a little bit, and then in generations, we'll have like our own roach clips in our hand, and we can hold it back down there. Just let it happen.
Do you remember? I remember the first time I saw somebody with the cocaine fingernail, back when like my early 20s. I was like, what in the fuck? Why is your fingernail so
pinky
long?
Nail?
Yes.
Whew. I remember that, but it wasn't a coke nail. My brother was real into witchcraft in high school.
What?
He said he identified with the god of fire, and he had his nails long, and it was just a witchcraft nail. But it was definitely I don't think he was doing coke. I mean, he is really super skinny, but I don't think he was doing coke. But that's the first time I saw the nail. His AIM name back in the day was Firefreak777, which was interesting because it wasn't 666. He went the holy route on the numbers, but it was Firefreak and then witchcraft, which, is some sort of worship of the devil.
Yeah, is that like a...
Pretty ironic.
Yeah, I was going to say, is that a wink afterwards? Like, you get it. I'm goofing, but I'm not. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, so that's
you talked about your brother a little bit on stage last night.
Well, I said I didn't... One thing I was worried about last night is not being able to fill the time because my timing was all off. I didn't know if I was gonna have the jokes or whatever, and I had started like burning through. And I was like, oh, I wanted to talk about my brother, but I have to cut that out because I was already halfway into my set. I was like, there's so many other things that I wanted to talk about. So yeah, I didn't really get a chance to talk about him, but I do have jokes about him. I did mention him last night.
Okay. So that's something people might hear if they come on a different night this week? Yeah.
They're good jokes. I did talk about him a little bit. You're right. Chainsaw. That was not planned.
Chainsaw.
That was just a story.
Oh.
That's
not material you're working on necessarily?
No, that was just something I wanted. What I love about being on stage, especially in front of people, is that energy allows you to take chances and like you really have to trust your instincts or something. So I thought of that story in the moment. I think it's hysterical. Not everyone always does. So I decided to just talk about it.
Oh, okay.
Chainsaw.
Yeah. Gonna use it again, you think?
I like the idea that a lot of people lie about their age to get into the military, but my brother lied about his age so he could serve cocktails at a go-go dance club. I think that's so funny. So yeah, I'll probably talk about it again.
You probably should.
Yeah. And he goes by Chainsaw.
Yeah, you probably should. No, I don't want to. So I watched the show last night. I also listened to your most recent album.
Oh, cool.
In the last, I don't know, when did I listen to it? About a month ago, I think?
Not the Worst Dad?
Yeah. Congrats.
Thanks.
So that was released during quarantine? Is that right?
Just before. Yeah,
Yeah,
it came out late February.
Late February.
It was out maybe 2 weeks before the whole shutdown happened. Really helped those albums.
I was going to say, did you get a chance to promote the thing on the road?
Not really at all. I mean, I think I sold my first actual hard copy of it last night.
Oh.
I've got a suitcase full of 3,000 of these download cards. I just need to get back out on the road so I can move the damn product.
Yeah. So you have them with.
Yeah.
Oh, I did hear you mention that last night. That's good. So I don't want to, I do my best to never spoil people's, material when we're doing the podcast here. However, I got to bring this one up because it's so relatable, and I'm sure that's why, some of the best jokes are the most relatable.
Sure. This
is one of them, and it has to do with couples trying to find something to eat.
Yeah. What do you want to do for dinner?
So I had to get my car worked on. We dropped it off somewhere last night. We're gonna pick it up. It's all done already. We're gonna pick it up later tonight, right? My older daughters are with my ex-wife. They're not with me full time. Blah blah blah. Anyway, I gotta plan dinner tonight.
Sure.
I get stressed. The anxiety, the stress of having to fucking come up with meals for everybody.
Yeah.
Let alone just me and my wife.
It's very similar to having the power of the remote control when the entire family's watching TV. You don't want to be responsible for everyone else's sustenance or enjoyment. It's a lot of pressure.
Yeah. So we're going to pick up my car tonight, and I'm relieved on the fact I've already announced our plan. The place that worked on my car that I'm going to pick up is close to a White Castle. We're going to White Castle tonight for dinner.
Rock
it's settled.
And roll, man.
No one has disagreed, but I'm telling you, you have a joke about trying to find something to eat for dinner. Nobody comes up with a freaking idea, and oh my God, is that an issue in my house?
Well, it's a race to the question, too, because if you ask what do you want to do for dinner, it's on them. I really wanted that story that you're going to pick up your car, and the place that does your car, I really wanted that sentence to end, makes a mean tomahawk steak. So, I wanted to just, they marinate it in oil all day long, nice 10W30.
You know what? Yes.
They cook it on the engine block. It's a medium rare. It's perfect.
There used to be a car dealership in the Twin Cities that I'm sure they probably still exist, but this one's gone. They had a hot dog bar. You could go there and get, serve yourself concessions of soda, cookies, and hot dogs.
What was that place called?
It was a car dealership. It was a.
Oh, okay. The last 2 times I came to Minneapolis, my car, I've had to stay a couple extra days because the first time I did the mic here, my car broke down and I had to get something replaced, and I went to a place in Minneapolis that was very helpful, expedited the service, but it was called Turbo Tim's.
Oh, okay.
And they had that, here's a hot dog, we've got food here, whatever. And I was like, I'm going to walk down the street to a restaurant.
Yeah.
Where the health inspector comes in and checks it out.
Right.
I don't want any part of your Turbo Tim dogs.
Yeah, who's heating these up?
Yeah.
Let me see your fingernails.
But it's not grease and grime. It's just dried mustard.
Yeah, right. I was just thinking though, if that dealership still existed, that's another way I could feed my family. Mm-hmm. Hot dogs and cookies.
Mm-hmm. They would love you for it.
Yeah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Do you? So I want to wrap up that part of the conversation, but just do you have a go-to when you're like, what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? Is there one that you can? Because I will say that ours is pizza, and even if it's we just had it 3 days ago, we can each go, fuck it, let's do pizza again.
We live pretty close to a downtown area, so we can walk downtown in our city.
Yeah.
And if it gets to that, we just kind of all come to a point where it's all right, well, which restaurant do you want to go to? And we'll just walk, because there's 6 or 7 restaurants downtown that we can just choose from. But I've gotten into I like to cook, and my wife is so great about meal planning, especially since over the past 6 weeks we've gone plant-based, so we have to be ready to do it. So she makes most of the decisions, which is great. Coincidentally enough, she started making those decisions after the album came out, so maybe she didn't want to be an indication of my joke. Oh, I got a new joke.
Very interesting.
I gotta write that down real quick. There's a new joke that I have that she's gonna hate, but it's gonna be really good.
Perfect.
It's a little sneak peek. The joke is, whenever we do something so if we're doing yard work, my wife will always say, yeah, so I just planted this bed of hostas and I weeded and I did all this. But anytime I do something, it's and we mowed the lawn and we weed whipped. It's always we if I do it, but it's I if she does it. It'll be better on stage.
Who's this we?
Yeah. The royal we.
Yeah. Yeah, the royal we, dude. We don't have we should wrap this up pretty quick. We don't go too long these days. I want you to mention that let's talk about that you have a podcast.
Yeah, we just started kind of a time to kill quarantine.
Mm-hmm. Immorally Speaking, it's called?
Immorally Speaking, yeah, with my buddy Chris Schlichting, very funny comic out of Davenport, Iowa. And we talk about things that we enjoyed as children, but we kind of reevaluate them as an adult.
Love it. Great premise.
The first episode is The Giving Tree, and I've always thought that boy was so selfish, and I wanted to get into it a little bit more, and I have reason to believe he's a serial killer. Humpty Dumpty is one of my favorite episodes because Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. If you look into Humpty Dumpty, it's not a he, it's not a she, it is an it. It does not subscribe to gender pronouns or gender identity or anything like that. Pioneer, considering the 1600s, and I don't think that the king liked what was like the uprising that could have come from Humpty Dumpty. So
Sounds familiar.
I think the king assassinated Humpty Dumpty. I don't think Humpty Dumpty had a great fall.
This was not an accident.
It was a great fall. It was pushed. Yeah, so we've done, like Lunchables. We just did Lunchables. The Tooth Fairy.
I listened to Green Eggs and Ham.
That one was fun.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Seuss was a real son of a bitch.
Yeah, I didn't.
So was, I think, Shel Silverstein. Those kids authors, I think we made the comparison. They're a lot like clean comics. On stage, they seem so wholesome, but off stage, they're terrifying people.
They're doing the most coke. Right?
Yeah, they're the ones with shackles and chains in their basement.
There's no question. The Green Eggs and Ham, first of all, that was one of my favorite books as a child. I like reading it to my kids. When they were growing up, I will read it to the baby. And I have to say that I once had James Adomian on this podcast, and I brought my copy of Green Eggs and Ham for the recording, and I got him to read a couple pages of it as Sam Elliott. And it was so
incredible.
Fucking awesome.
James Adomian was headlining the first time when I recorded my first album, and he is just the nicest,
he's
funniest,
great.
most entertaining dude.
He is absolutely great. So let's see. I had a billion things I wrote down here, but we should get going here. So we talked about Matt Patricia. You have a podcast. You have an album.
Two albums. I got the first one. Skunk Man was the first one, and then I think that was in 2017, and then Not the Worst Dad I did in early 2020. Recorded in January.
Nice. Not the Worst Dad. Great title.
Yeah.
Absolutely great.
Set realistic expectations, and you won't be disappointed.
That should be on a T-shirt. Let's see. Anything else? Oh, you know what? I want your quick opinion on this. So on my drive over here, a car was in the lane next to me, and they had a Bernie 2016 sticker. Is it time to... I'm not making a statement on Bernie Sanders whatsoever. Sure. I'm just saying... He didn't even make it to the, and now we're at this year, and he didn't make it past the. Are we still hanging on?
I mean, I think the real issue there is the outdated bumper sticker, and I want you to take it one step further. Think about Bernie 2016 on the outside of the car. That's just outdated. They're not taking care of the appearance of their car. Imagine what the inside of their car looks like.
Yes.
It's a disaster.
Yes.
I'm sure that there is McDonald's French fries and hamburgers caught in the seat cushions.
From which year?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that those cushions are ripe with farts. I mean, there's no air freshener that can get through it. No. That's just a lost cause. You shouldn't even be able to insure a car like that. Take some pride. That's an investment. You paid money for that.
Yeah.
You currently pay. I mean, maybe they don't. Maybe they're just waiting for it to die.
I like to think that it's keeping it together. Like there's a crack underneath there.
Yeah, it's like a structural.
Yeah.
And Bernie, it's symbolic of what Bernie could have done for the country. Holding it together.
Love it.
But the worst thing is you ask the owner about that bumper sticker, and then they want to tell you the story about it, and you're like, oh, what did I get myself into?
Oh, probably.
I don't want to talk to you.
Probably.
You and your halitosis.
Hey, quick question.
Yeah.
Quick question, long answer. Never mind. So people need to come to the shows here this week.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Maybe bring an extra. They can come to the show. They can watch on Zoom. You got shows through Saturday, to Friday, to Saturday. Bring in maybe a couple extra bucks for one of these download codes.
Yeah. I mean, if you're just nice, I'll give it to you.
Look at that.
But you should give me money because, I deserve it.
Yeah, that plane ticket wasn't free.
It wasn't.
No.
It was cheap.
You have a dog at home. I saw on your Instagram.
Yeah, he's the man.
Yeah,
His name's Farley. He's an American bulldog.
The dog needs food as well.
He's the best boy.
The dog needs. He's the best boy. You're the best boy. This has been great, Zach. Where can people follow you on social media?
I'm on it. I mean, you just search my name at Zach Martina.
You're on. Which ones are you on? That's a better question.
I'm on Instagram. I have a Twitter. I rarely use it because I think I signed up at the wrong time, and Twitter just buries me despite my brilliant tweets. So I stopped doing it. I'm on Facebook because I'm an elder millennial, and I'm also on TikTok, which I've got to like buy a separate iPad so I can just have it on there. I deleted it from my phone because I don't trust it.
Interesting.
But yeah, you can find me on all those. I'm on YouTube too.
Yeah. Matt Patricia videos whenever
Patricia videos,
the Lions do something important.
Some stand-up clips, and I'm trying to work on a couple characters.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
All right.
We'll see if they ever get caught to tape.
We will keep an eye out for those and hopefully talk about them next time.
Cheers to you, man. Enjoy White Castle.
I guarantee I will.
That is one thing that my dad and I always used to do, is go to White Castle together. So it's a real family experience.
Oh.
It tastes like shit. It's not good.
No.
But it is great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cheers to
yeah.
that.
Cheers to that.